Welcome back. I hope you guys had a great day. So in this video, I'll be looking at two motherboards of which they look very similar. So this is the ASRock B550 Riptide, and over here is the ASRock X570S Riptide. So they look very similar, with the key difference only being the color of the VRM heatsink and the other heatsink at the bottom over here, of which the one with X570 is a little bit bigger. So you might be wondering, X570S, is it a new chipset? Apparently no. And from what I learned, at least based on the video that Tech Yes City covered, link up above, so the X570S is basically just at least from ASRock, the S means silent, meaning that the chipset cooler heatsink over here has no fans. So yeah, besides this thing, they're pretty much of the same design. However, there are differences between these two boards. Now, price-wise, the B550 model retails at usually close to RM700, while this one close to RM800. But if you scout around, you can actually find them at lower price point, at the lower 600s, and this one at the lower 700s. So the key difference between these two is that X570, it has more PCIe 4 support, meaning that if you are looking to run two PCIe Gen 4x4 M.2 NVMe SSD, then the X570S model supports, while the one on the B550 only has a Gen 4 over here and the Gen 3 down there. So pretty much that's the key difference. The other difference being the USB port, of which the B550 model has a bit more. Now, as you look at the design, some of you, I'm going to put this X570 down because one is enough rather than carrying two. So some of you might be concerned of the single heatsink block over here. I've tested it with the Ryzen 9 5900X. It comes to about 45 degrees Celsius when I run Blender load test, which I think is okay. It's warm, but it's not hot. So and I was running on an open bench. So if you're in the casing with a fan over here blowing, and depending on your cooler type, it actually will work fine. Although I personally wouldn't recommend this range for extreme overclocking, though you can. However, just know your limitations. I believe that the target market for this board are users with, like, say, lower power draw models like 5600X, 3600, and so on. So overall, yeah, I mean, it's a nice board. So you might also be thinking, what about models like, say, the B550 Pro 4, which costs less? Well, that model has far less USB ports. So the B550 Riptide here is definitely the good one if you are, if USB port is a matter that will affect your work or whatever you're doing with your PC. Now, you might have noticed that there's this thing over here. This is the unique thing about the Riptide series. Both the X570 and the B550 model have this. So what I really like is that the metal piece is rock solid, stable, and you just have to screw it in as you mount the board. And it comes with this support piece that has there's a cutout here, and it is placed inside there. So it only goes vertically, so it does not, you see, right now this is out of the rail. When I push it properly into the rail, it does not move around, it does not twist. So that's a really good support over the rail. So I think this is the unique thing. I love this innovation. I haven't seen it in any motherboard. If you have seen it in any motherboard, do leave it the information in the comment section. For me, yes, this is the first time I see it, and I'm actually very pleased with what ASRock did with this. My only complaint is that I cannot locate any instruction on how to assemble the graphics card support holder. So I had to refer to the product page and, well, based on the logic, the picture you see here, assemble it myself. Other than that, this board has RGB only on the chipset cooler, of which you can disable the RGB LED through BIOS. And speaking of BIOS, this is what the BIOS looks like, which is pretty much the usual ASRock design. Other than that, I like that there are fan headers, 3 fan headers clumped together up here, and 2 more down here with another fan header over here. In fact, the X570 model is not as attractive to me when it comes to fan header placements, because there's 2 here and they split 1 to that side, and then, well, it's still 1 at the middle here, and then the two at the bottom is placed here and here, which is quite separated. I really like the fan header placement of the B550 model over the X570 model. And I also like it that they provided not just 1 but 2 USB header, with one of them facing forward, and there's a one for USB 3.2. And what else is nice about this board? I guess it's the plain and simple non-RGB flowing look, which is really nice. So overall, I think these two are great offerings from ASRock. Do consider these boards if you are looking for something at that price range. However, if you have stronger processor and you are looking for something with a more beefy VRM, you can check out those B550 like Steel Legend or Extreme 4 models. Link up above to Billzoid's I would say review, or should I say test, on the B550 VRM on the Steel Legend. So that's pretty much my sharing of this one. Initially, I wanted to review just one board, but I think, oh, they look pretty much similar. Why not we just have them both at once? That's all from me for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the video useful and informative. If you like more of this kind of content, do check out the videos at the side and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.